You've been together for a long time, and you know he's the one, but there's a big problem. He hasn't mentioned marriage yet. Well, marriage is very important to many women, but often women find themselves in a situation where their longtime boyfriends have not yet hinted about settling down. While it's true that trying to be the perfect girlfriend can get your man to propose, it doesn't always work. Well, here's a few tips on how to get him to propose. First, inspire him into marriage. Basically, during prehistoric times, the role of men in the community was to hunt for food. This hunting instinct, although no longer in use in contemporary times, is still ingrained in their system. You can use this bit of information to your advantage and get him to propose. According to psychologists, men are into chasing prey. This is the reason why he was so sweet and tried almost everything just to win you during the honeymoon period of your relationship. Inspiring him into chasing you again is a good idea, experts say. Based on a number of studies, having your man try to win you again will turn on the commitment switch in his brain. This is basically like keeping him on his toes or making him feel that there is a possibility of him losing you. If you do this right, you will get that ring in no time. Now, another thing is the law of scarcity. Basically, in economics, something that is scarce has more value than something that is abundant. You can apply this law in getting your man to propose in no time. Based on this analogy, making yourself less available to your boyfriend will make you more valuable. Do you ever wonder why the men you don't pay much attention to are crazy over you? That's just basically how this works. If you succeed in making yourself less available, you can be sure that you will be more valuable to him than ever before, and surely a ring will follow after that. There's also the ultimatum. Some girls go to the dark side, quote unquote, and set a deadline for an engagement, or they call it quits. While this won't be pretty, if it has to be done, then you'd have to do it. Giving an ultimatum to the man you love can be scary, but if you know that what you want is to get married, then there's nothing wrong with putting your foot down. Some call this move a manipulative move, but think of it this way. Giving your boyfriend an ultimatum will help you achieve your goal. Once you've asked him to choose between getting married or breaking up, be prepared that you would have to let him go. Keep in mind, however, that your man will be expecting you to go running back to him once you're no longer angry. This is where the most difficult part begins. Since he's expecting you to go back to him, you would have to stop yourself from doing so, even if you do miss him. Don't text him. Don't call him. And make it a point that it's as if he never existed at all. If you are not available to him at all, you will be more valuable to him because he can no longer have you. Remember that song that said, "You don't know what you got till it's gone"? Well, that's basically how this move works. Psychologists call it the reactance theory. If one is deprived of an alternative or an option, especially an option that a person already had in the first place, he will go out and try to get it back. It's basically making yourself unavailable for him to realize how important you are and how much he loves you. He would, of course, have to come back with a ring because he knows that's the only way he will get you back. Remember that this is not the same as playing hard to get. This is like taking yourself away from your man as one of his choices, or as one of the things that he can easily have. This means removing yourself from the equation so that he will want you back in that equation and on your terms too. In this case, of course, your terms are you get married or the relationship is over. Women planning on doing this should also be aware of the consequences of this particular strategy. If you're going to do this, make sure that you have the heart to let him go. Now also, you want to go about your girlfriend duties like usual. Basically, that means it's always a good idea to go about your GF or girlfriend duties like usual, even if you are already thinking of getting married and he hasn't thought of it yet. If you can talk to him about marriage, you can do so, but if he doesn't say anything that will give you peace of mind, it is time to leave it be and just let nature take its course. Women must remember that men do not want to be kept reminded about something that they have not yet thought about. You should also make sure that you are on the same page in your relationship to avoid any kind of misunderstanding. most especially if it's your future together that's at stake. Next is the waiting game. If all else fails, all you need to do is wait. While waiting is something that women rarely succeed in doing, psychologists say a man will not commit when he is not ready to commit. This is something you have to take in consideration if you're thinking that he will never marry you. According to a National Marriage Project survey, men only propose when they are ready to settle down. While it's all about timing, girlfriends frustrated with their boyfriends not popping the question would have to wait. If you learn how to wait, you will no longer bother yourself on how to get him to propose. Now, if you want a shortcut around the issue and a way to fast forward the process of getting him to pop the question, follow the step-by-step outline in this video or click below to play the video right now. Thanks a lot for listening, guys.